All of the information that I'm presenting here was received as part of a spiritual download, and I believe that the details are from the Living Library, also known as the Akashic Records, and is integrated with my personal life experience and training. I want to remind you that this system of quantum health transformation works well for me. However, you must synthesize this information and take only that which serves you. At the very least, it is my hope that you'll be stimulated to seek your own inner wisdom. Quantum Health Transformation Steps 9, 8, and 7 form the first tier of training in this free online lifestyle course. The information that I'm sharing today is the second tier of training, which is all about detoxification to improve health and to help you to achieve a new level of well-being. You may want to come back and listen to each episode again, as they contain a lot of information with some deeper concepts to consider. And now we will be able to move on to Quantum Health Transformation Step 5 Green, Food as Medicine, and another source of universal love energy. So we'll start by looking at the body temple and the spirituality of food. The saying, "You are what you eat," is truer than some realize. Your body is an amazing machine, which is made up of components from the planet, solar system, and heavens beyond. Foods we eat are grown in the soil, where they absorb minerals and other things, which combine with the energy from the sun to form new elements. And when we consume them, this literally becomes us. Food was recognized as medicine for thousands of years in many cultures, old and new world. This concept was made popular in the post-classical ages by Hippocrates, who lived between 460 BC and 375 BC. And he is very famous for this quote, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." This concept is lost in the industrialized nations, who put more faith in the science of food-like products than in traditional eating and healing styles. Now things have come full circle, as we find out about the myriad of components in plants that heal and sustain us. Our bodies, the foods we eat, the planet, and the sun are truly intimately related. On a spiritual level, our bodies are temples, sustained in ways that surpass the physical elements that we can see or touch. Kirlian photography reveals the energetic quality of food, which is also present in our physical and etheric bodies. Local, organic, fresh, raw, live, and wild foods add an abundance of sun energy, as seen with Kirlian photography, to nourish and heal us in ways mostly unknown to modern society. Food as a rich source of spiritual energy makes all things possible because it expands our conception of reality and possibility. I suggest you do some research about Kirlian photography, spelled Kirlian photography, but do not use the Google search engine as it is heavily biased and censored. You may wish to try DuckDuckGo. You can also see the images in my online version of this course, found on my website under the Free Resources tab and on my YouTube channel, Karen Holton TV. Now, whether you choose to stay within a religious paradigm or not, most of us are aware of our spiritual need. The mainstream socio-political economic construct leaves us feeling thirsty for something more. We are becoming aware of all the people who are awakening and evolving around us, and who seem to be able to find something satisfying from within. Yet many remain spiritually thirsty, while they keep signing up for courses and buying books written by those who have found their spiritual fountain. Is it that spirit is partial? Could some people be more worthy than others? I suggest not at all. In order to become enlightened or filled with spirit, we must prepare ourselves for this gift. Simply taking steps to nurture and care for our temple bodies will clear the channels for a rewarding spiritual experience. If you give an inch of effort, the universe will provide a mile in return. Universal, tender mercy is all around us, but we have to be willing to let it in. This usually means conquering our fears and stepping out into the unknown. In my experience, the fastest way to become connected with the overflowing inner fountain of unconditional love, wisdom, support, and the gift of co-creation is through real food and the tender, loving care that we express toward our temple bodies. Be prepared to make some sacrifices and to step outside of your comfort zone. If we are eating dead, lifeless foods, or worse yet, tortured animals and frankenfoods, which is what I call genetically modified GMO, we are mistreating ourselves and disrespecting the temple body and shutting down the avenues for a truly satisfying reality. A reality that enhances this 3D earthly experience in ways that we never before dreamed possible. Feast on foods that are satisfying and serve as your ultimate medicine. Experience for yourselves how food is a wonderful source of universal love energy. Experience well-being and be prepared to be amazed. All of the food images featured in the Quantum Health Transformation Step 5 primer are of delicious and easy to prepare raw and unprocessed foods. Check out the details by viewing the Quantum Health Transformation Step 5 primer video from my website or YouTube channel. Now, I've noticed that quite a bit today, a lot of people are what they call virtue signaling and telling everyone that they are more spiritual because they are vegan or vegetarian. And I personally don't really agree with that. And I want you to be aware of what I call some of the vegan pitfalls. So some vegans and vegetarians follow a balanced eating program, but others still cook the life force out of their foods, rely on processed health foods, protein derivatives, and vitamin pills. Many binge on sugars or sweeteners and refined or unrefined carbs, and more recently eat foods labeled, quote, gluten-free, which are really made from refined starches, the same thing as sugar once digested. Further, some vegans reason that since fresh food is cooked when it hits our stomach acid, they may as well cook it well before eating it. In this case, the life force escapes into the kitchen rather than within the temple body, where it is absorbed and fully utilized. And many vegans and vegetarians tend to look down on the meat eaters, which is a symptom of discontent and a lack of spiritual awareness in itself. Remember, whether we are herbivore or omnivore, we kill what we eat, and all plants and animals are innocent. Real food is sacred. I want to touch a little bit more on this herbivore versus omnivore, and I suggest that people follow their roots. I don't believe that meat is unethical or bad for you. Kirlian photography shows that humane sources of meat can be full of life force energy. Historically and currently, many cultures of people with pretty good health eat wild and free-range animals and follow a diet based on what foods are available to them. Only when they start to eat a typical American diet does their health decline and they become sick and tired and discontented. If you take a person who is indigenous to the North Pole, who eats a lot of animal fat and protein, and you put them on a high fructose tropical diet, they will become very ill. Likewise, if you take someone who is indigenous to the equatorial regions and put them on a North Pole diet, they will get very sick. There is no one way to eat that satisfies every person. So let your own wisdom guide you. If your peoples of origin ate or eat meat, then assume that over the thousands of years of ancestral history, they have developed wisdom about food and health. If you are of mixed heritage like me, then I recommend resorting to an eating program that's based on your blood type. So for example, we'll talk about my blood type, which is type O, and a relationship, how we can do that, and cruelty-free. My blood type is type O, and I feel at my best when I eat meat, fat, and protein with leafy greens and low glycemic vegetables, because my dominant ancestry is hunter-gatherer. I am also a conscientious objector when it comes to the animals that I will eat. I consider their quality of life very seriously, and whenever possible, I do not partake of protein sources that have been treated cruelly or without the deep respect they deserve as fellow beings. In industrialized nations, farm factories are a reality. Sometimes we can't afford or we can't find grass-fed and cruelty-free meat sources. Do your best to avoid participating in the horror, but when necessary, offer thanks and gratitude to the beast you are about to consume. Consider supplementing your diet with hulled hemp seeds, which give us the protein and the fat that we need. And more about that a little bit later in this presentation. Next, I would like to reflect on pH and blood hunger. Balancing our pH and eating for health is pretty much the same thing. Get some litmus paper and test your urine frequently. It should remain in the green zone for optimal health. Yellow or purple suggests an imbalance and are zones where fungus, disease, and pathogens reign. Consult the many pH food charts available on the internet and eat your way to an alkalized body system. Blood hunger is not related to empty stomach hunger. I used to eat until I was physically uncomfortable and still feel hungry. But once I fed myself pH balancing foods, the hunger signals were greatly reduced, and sometimes I actually have to remind myself to eat. Forget the calorie exercise paradigm. It is ridiculous to eat junk food, then exercise like crazy and expect healthy outcomes. I know. I dieted and I exercised myself up to 320 pounds. The more I starved and ate diet foods, the bigger I got. So, what are some of the benefits of organic, live, raw, wild foods? I'll admit that it was not easy to curb my carb addiction, but once I got that monkey off my back, real food tasted better than processed foods. Flavor is the combination of taste, texture, and aroma. I still have fun coming up with new ways to combine organic, live, raw, wild foods to form my recipe favorites. I love the real foods that I eat so much that I have no problem turning down the processed alternatives. Mainstream restaurants have no appeal to me, as I'm always disappointed with the flavor and the quality of the foods they serve, because I'm used to eating the best of the best. You may find that while readapting yourself to the taste of real food, you might notice that things taste a bit bland at first. This is because you do not have the elements yet that provide the enzymes in your saliva to break things down, releasing the flavor. These elements are found in the natural foods, so give it a couple of days to let your digestive juices recover and be prepared at how things start to become undescribably delicious. A stalk of celery becomes very sweet in the mouth, as does most other life-sustaining foods. By the way, you can make your own sweet treats from raw organic seeds, dried fruits, cacao nibs, and raw coconut oil with a dash of sea salt. Keep them in the fridge or freezer and eat this sweet and crunchy snack as part of your daily reward system. And yes, I do recommend that you plan for lots of daily rewards. Why? Because you deserve it and it makes the day more fun. Now, if you like creamy, smooth textures, have a daily pudding made from homemade chocolate almond milk and chia seeds. In this way, you can improve your health with a yummy, great big chocolate pudding every day. And if you like colorful, crunchy, and juicy foods, make salads with fresh fruits, vegetables, seeds, and lots of dressing. I like to use raw olive oil and organic apple cider vinegar with some cayenne pepper and some herbs, and of course, sea salt. They look so festive and they taste so good. I love real food so much, and I love the way it makes me feel. As a result, my physical and mental health is better than ever. Increase your energy, think more clearly, and have more fun planning your life. A side effect of an improved diet is more spiritual well-being, which assists with co-creation and manifestation. Yes, really, really, it's true. So I want to just spend a few minutes talking about why you want to choose organic foods. Many people don't care about their food being not organic. Organic is definitely more expensive, and so more people reason why bother to pay that extra? Just peel everything and it will be okay. This opinion is based on negative propaganda and lack of knowledge. National and state organic certification rules do not allow genetically engineered or GE foods to be labeled organic. When you buy organic, you buy foods free of synthetic pesticides and also free of genetically engineered ingredients. Choose foods certified as non-GMO project verified. The Non-GMO Project is the only organization that I know of offering independent verification for GMO products in the US and Canada since 2014. The acronym GMO stands for Genetically Modified Organism, which refers to any food product that has been altered at the gene level. Genetically modified foods are also frequently described as genetically engineered, genetically altered, or genetically manipulated. I also recommend the Environmental Work Group's Shopper's Guide to Avoiding Genetically Engineered Food in order to find out which foods are made without GMO ingredients. By the way, foods containing GMOs do not have to declare this on the label. The four most commonly genetically modified ingredients in food are field corn and corn-derived ingredients, soybeans and soybean-derived ingredients, sugar, and vegetable oils. On the watch list are papaya, zucchini, summer squash, sweet corn, and Aqua Advantage salmon. Up for GMO approval are flax, potato, plums, radicchio, rice, tomato, and wheat, according to the FDA in 2014. For more information, look online. Now, personally, I do not trust anything that's been created without the creator. I will do everything in my power to eat non-GMO foods. Everything I need is already here, so why add something artificial? So how do you tell if your fresh produce is GMO? Now, these instructions apply for North America. If you live in a country outside of North America, I highly recommend that you do some research on this subject. So for those of us that live in North America, look at the numbers printed on the produce code. which is different from the barcode. And you can see the illustration within the PDF version of this lesson. If it is organic, there will be 5 digits displayed with the first number being number 9. So the 5 digits starting with number 9 mean that it's organic. If it is genetically modified or engineered, or GMO, and the producer is honest about this product, the first digit will be the number 8. All regular produce, not organic, will start with the number 4. However, since most producers hide the GMO factor and do not have to disclose this fact, all items with a product code starting with the number 4 are highly suspicious. And now I want to talk a little bit about chewing and environment. It seems like nobody talks about this, but it's really super important. Both are really important to well-being. Take time to really chew your food. Sometimes it's so delicious that we have a hard time to not swallow it before it's fully been liquefied. This is an important step in the digestion process, so follow this simple rule. Chew your juice and drink your food. What that means is that when you're drinking any kind of liquid nutrient, chew it. Chew it as though it had crunch to it, so that you release the enzymes that help to break it down before it hits the stomach. And drink your food. What that means is any solid food that you're eating, you want to chew it until it's in a liquefied state and where you're actually drinking it or swallowing it. Also, prepare a nice, relaxing environment for yourself while you eat. Treat yourself like a beloved friend and set things up so you enjoy your surroundings and you're not in such a hurry. The eating experience is spiritual, it's sensual, and it's so enjoyable. Why not bring more enjoyment into your life? Love your food and let it love you back. Prepare your eating area with as much care as you would if someone special were joining you. You are worth it. Excuse me. And this really shows deep love and respect for your temple body and for yourself. So now I want to talk a bit more about raw hulled hemp seeds because they're classed as one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. Raw hulled hemp seeds are one of the most nutritious foods in the world because they are a rich source of phytonutrients. And phytonutrients are the healing elements that are found in plants, with benefits protecting your immunity, bloodstream, tissues, cells, skin, organs, and mitochondria. Hulled hemp seeds do not contain THC, which stands for tetrahydrocannabinol, the psychoactive substance in cannabis. This superfood provides a broad spectrum of health benefits, including weight loss, increased and sustained energy, rapid recovery from disease or injury, lowered cholesterol and blood pressure, reduced inflammation, improvement in circulation and immune system, as well as natural blood sugar control. Raw hulled hemp seeds offer a superior balance of proteins, essential fatty acids, vitamins, and enzymes, and is much more balanced and digestible than soy or whey products. This is a wonderful alternative to factory farm meats. Raw hemp seeds contain vitamin A, B1, B2, B6, C, D, and E, and included in that category of vitamin E is the alpha, beta, gamma, delta tocopherol, and alpha tocotrienol. Sorry, can't say that word. Lecithin, choline, and inositol, and chlorophyll. They contain essential minerals: phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, calcium, iron, manganese, zinc, sodium, silicon, copper, platinum, boron, nickel, germanium, tin, iodine, chromium, silver, and lithium. Hemp seeds supply an abundance of life force energy and enzymes, and it's a great source of zinc, phosphorus, magnesium, and iron, important for bone health, oxygen delivery, and immune health. For detailed and well-researched information on the benefits of eating hemp seeds, read 2 articles by Lynn Osborne. Hemp seed, the most nutritionally complete food source in the world, Part 1, and Hemp seed oils and the flow of life force, Part 2. The links are below in the description box and are embedded into the PDF version of this lesson, which is available from my website. Hemp seed oil comprises 35% of the total seed weight, with more essential fatty acids than flax or any other nut or seed oil. Essential fatty acids, called EFAs, are necessary to produce life energy from food and move that energy throughout the body. EFAs govern growth, vitality, and state of mind, and carry the high energy required by the most active tissues and ensure very high oxygen availability. Life force travels through the body via the essential fatty acids and their derivatives. They are low in carbohydrates. Hemp seeds are ideal for those following the paleo or keto diet or who are just carb conscious for their health. Another thing I want to touch on today is juicing. A lot of people feel the fastest route to improving your health is through juicing, and even if it's celery or whatever. Well, I have a few things to say about my personal experiences with juicing. There's no doubt that for some, juicing can be a fast and effective way to lose weight and improve the health. But for those that have diabetes type 1 or 2, insulin resistance, or are pre-diabetic, juicing may not be our best option. I have insulin resistance, and I found that juicing definitely exacerbated the condition. Because any juice, like I said, even celery juice, contains a lot of natural sugars. This is why I highly recommend smoothies made with hulled hemp seeds with fresh fruits and vegetables. The protein and fiber slow down digestion and they do not trigger metabolic conditions. And of course, I have something to say about seeds and nuts. I have found great success substituting nuts and seeds for carbs, including beans, and I've converted my body to run on healthful fats and oils instead. This slower burning system satisfies hunger and really provides tons of energy. Also, if you soak your nuts and seeds, the enzyme inhibitors are removed and the spark of life is initiated, greatly increasing the life force and nutritional quality in them. Now, as if any of you have had gardens, you know that you need to soak your seeds till they start to sprout, and then you plant them and they grow into a plant. But before that, they just sit in the sack and they don't do anything. Why would that be? It's because they're covered in these enzyme inhibitors that have to be soaked off. And what that does is it literally reignites the spark of life so they can grow into something. So you're really getting so much more nutrition out of your nuts and seeds if you sprout them first, or even just soak them. I simply put them in a mason jar with filtered water and I leave them in the fridge overnight. In the morning, I shuck off their skins and I give them a rinse, and then I dry them back out, and then I can add them to smoothies or blend them up to make my own non-dairy milks if I want to. They taste better too after they've been soaked, way better. And I also want to say a word about preservatives. All processed foods contain preservatives. This allows foods to be stored for up to 25 years. This food is always toxic, which is why rats, insects, and other pests just don't eat it. Even a small bug knows that it will die if it eats the processed foods. Further, the preservatives in processed foods will prevent any real food that you eat from breaking down in the digestive tract, and then you can't digest and absorb nutrients. Even if you only eat processed or junk foods once a week, it stays in your digestive system for much longer, Why? Because it can't be digested. This has a detrimental effect on the gut biome, and the body never gets a chance to digest the real food properly. You can eat healthy all week, but as soon as you gulp down a fast food snack, you no longer absorb the nutrition you need for health and for sanity. Obviously, switching over from a North American diet to a natural one takes time and effort. Be patient with yourself. It takes time to detoxify and rebuild yourself. So, complete healing and restoration, it takes many years. This is not something you're going to achieve in a month or a week or even in a year. And each level follows a 7-year cycle. So once you've corrected your eating, the first 7-year cycle, the physical body is completely rebuilt. Every single cell in your body has disposed of the old cell system that was made up of chemicals and GMO and God forbid whatever. That's all gone. And now you have absolutely brand new cells in every part of your body that are working and providing you with exceptional health. But it takes 7 years to do that. And then the second 7-year cycle is an emotional cleanse. All your stuff comes up, all your emotional stuff, and you got to deal with it all one by one. I know nobody wants to hear this kind of news, but I got to tell you the truth, guys. And I got to tell you, there are a lot of us who have done the process, and it's really, really worth it. And the third 7-year cycle is when we further understand our role in life, why we are here. You know, what were we meant to do? What did we sign up for? That all comes out in the 3rd year. So that's 21 years. That's a big chunk of your life just to get back on track. But, you know, you do start to enjoy the benefits. Definitely once you get off the fake stuff that's just sold everywhere, you're definitely going to feel a lot better. So in conclusion, consider growing some of your own food as houseplants. Consider having a patio garden and take advantage of wild foods free from a vacant lot near you. Watch my video on how to identify edible wild plants. The link is below. YouTube has many videos available to show you how to identify and prepare edible wild plants. And there's a spoiler alert. The most nutritious foods in the world are not available at the supermarket. You know, it breaks my heart to see all these people lined up at the food bank getting the crappiest food. I mean, crappy food, because all the good stuff is generally taken by the people that run the programs. I hate to tell you this. I know I was a recipient of the food bank for many years, being a single mom, and I tried to make ends meet for myself and my children. And it just breaks my heart to see them lined up for the crappy food and the macaroni and cheese and the canned soup. Meanwhile, there's all these vacant lots everywhere, overflowing with the most nutritious foods in the world, medicines, everything we need. And so we need to recapture that knowledge. We need to find out about it and reintroduce that back into our culture. So please honor your temple body. Feed and nurture it to find good health, peace of mind, and much love. I also recommend that you watch my instructional video called Do-It-Yourself Medicinals with Karen Holton, and the link will be below this video on my YouTube channel, which is Karen Holton TV. So I would like to encourage you to feel free to contact me for more information and for assistance with your detoxification program. My services are found under the Shop tab on my website. Again, I highly recommend you buy the PDF version of these lessons so that you will have the transcript, the illustrations, and all of the links which are embedded for easy access. And you will find all of my PDFs on my website under the Shop tab. And again, they're only $3.99 Canadian. Now, that's about $2.60 American, so it's not much. It's just a few coins, but it helps me. This online course is free. And if you would like to help support my work, please purchase some of my beautiful Zendomes Organites. Due to the pandemic, we're having difficulty sourcing supplies, and so we're unable to make more orgone generators at this time, but there's still quite a few that you can choose from. If you want to help create the change you wish to see in the world, or make contact with ET, or participate in the Intergalactic Resettlement Program, take exquisite care of the temple body. Raise your vibrational frequency and learn from the Quantum Health Transformation Program.